Oh yeah, look at that baby moving in the background. It's gorgeous! Hey everybody, Spartan Overdrive here. Welcome back to Minecraft. So today we're going to continue last week's episode where we built that cool windmill, and today we're going to make it move, which is going to be pretty sweet. But as you can tell, as we walk down this path that we walk down almost every episode to get over to this area, I've done a little bit of work. You may not be able to tell because it's all been real minor, but I wanted to walk down it so you could see just in case. We added some path or some steps in here. I wanted oak, but I thought spruce looked better. I use spruce for everything, but it's so pretty. And one thing I think helps a lot is to indent it like this. So if you'll notice, except for right here, the very next one I can approach, of course, that's the one that's not indented. But yeah, I like to kind of recess it into the ground a little bit. I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know about you guys. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Obviously, we just use the path block here. I haven't done anything except for reshape the land. I did a lot of terraforming just to get rid of all the holes and the little things that didn't make sense. And I did the same thing way over there and same thing way over here. And as you notice, can you believe it? I'm not even in creative. What's going on? Uh-oh. Almost destroyed my little muddy area there. It's actually easier for me in survival to do a lot of terraforming because of the shovel working so fast with efficiency. So much better. So, of course, I know that you can do creative commands and different things like that that help, but sometimes when you're just doing a little bit of shaping, it helps to use to go into survival to do that, at least for me. So, let's take a look at what we're dealing with today. We're going to have to get out of survival mode. I don't know what I'm thinking here, and get into creative. And as you can see, I've kind of developed this area over here a little bit. Instead of big chunky blocks, it's kind of rounded out and smooth now. I don't know if we'll keep it that way or not, but that's really not a big deal. We'll get to that one day. Just kind of working on it here and there off camera. And today we're going to make this thing move. So the idea is the wind is catching these cells in such a way that you can tell because it's kind of blowing on it and pushing them outwards. So I'm thinking if the wind pushes out right here in this direction, it's also going to be pushing kind of up, right? And same thing with all these other ones in the same direction to make it spin this way. So unless we reverse all this, we're going to animate this to make it spin this way. And I'm going to do my best to make it spin slowly. I don't want it to spin real fast, but I might be limited. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to use our structure blocks like we did in episode 5. We are going to rebuild this in a couple different ways, and each time we rebuild it, we're going to save it in a structure block file, and then we're going to use some redstone to animate it to just do a constant little spin. And not just here, but I want to do the same thing in here with the gears, because when this blade turns, it's going to turn this gear here, which is going to spin this gear, which is going to spin our mill to grind up all of the wheat and stuff that we put in here. So yeah, and so what would be really cool, and I haven't figured this out totally yet, I think what we want to do is we want to have a place where we can come in. Yeah, I'm kind of, this is one of those cases where I start a sentence without knowing where it's going. I want to take some not seeds, I want to take some wheat or something that we go and collect, and then bring it back here, drop it in, start this machine up, where it's always going to be running, I guess, but let it slowly go from this area here like a little hopper over to this side. And then we pick it up over here, maybe in a chest or maybe just right there, and it's bread, but there's really no way to automate that. So I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I would like to use this, have a function with it. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know if I haven't come up with it by the end of the episode. Step 1 is to go ahead and save this original positioning to our first structure block file. And as you can see, I've added some gray wool. I did try some colored wool as well. It just didn't look as good. I really would have liked to use this wool here, but anyways, we went with the gray because it just looks a little bit better. The reason for that is I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try. I may have to undo this. I'm not sure, but the idea is these are all exactly the same. So if I were to position from here and then rotate it this way 90 degrees, you wouldn't be able to tell any difference at all. So if I were to just rotate it 45 degrees and then 90 and then 45 and keep doing that, it's just going to look like it's flopping back and forth like this. So we need these to be distinguishable so that they go around in a certain way. And in fact, what we might need to do is just color one of them solid a different color, which actually might be a better idea, because when I get this on a 45, and I want to try to do like a 30 degree and a 60 degree as well to make it rotate slower. But I don't know how well that's going to go because these shapes are going to be kind of awkward at a 45, much less 30 and 60. And trying to coordinate these colors here is going to be really challenging. So the more I think about it, the more I think I might just make one of these blades a different color, and maybe we can come up with some reason to why that is. Or you know what else we could maybe do? We could do something like this, to where maybe this particular, yeah, we could do something like that to where that windmill blade is not has kind of been worn down over the years a little bit more than the other ones, and I could do the same thing with the other ones, just in different spots. So there's a few things you want to do just to make it distinguishable, because otherwise, like I said, if all four of these blades are exactly the same, you're not going to tell that it's moving in a circle. So you've got to distinguish it somehow or another. So I'm going to work on trying to figure out how exactly I want to do that, and then I'll save it, and then we'll rebuild this thing slightly rotated and just continue along that path. Okay, this is taking a little while. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought? Rebuilding this entire thing and moving it over. What I've done, I showed a little clip there, hopefully, where basically I went over 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, all the way across, and just went one row or one column at a time, whichever direction I was moving. And that made it a lot easier for me. And I just kind of just copied a block over one at a time. So now we just need to go in and add this this new structure in. I've already got my blocks in here. This is my first one. And we are going to go ahead and just copy and paste these numbers over, just knowing that we have to go, see this little red dot here, or the red arrow, that's the X direction, and that's in the positive. So we need to have everything the same here. Right here rather, all of these numbers need to be the same in this block over here, except on the right side, if you can't see my mouse, except that the the X, the first value here needs to be 2 more than it needs to be here on the relative position. Otherwise, this will be the same here. So we're going to do that and kind of see what this first little animation looks like. Okay, now that we've got everything plugged in, I'm just going to show you what I did. I actually had to go over one more here. I guess I'm bad at math. And I noticed that it's a little bit bigger here. I might have built this wrong originally, because this was only showing, we go back to our save, it's only showing 28 here. And here I've got 29. So I think, and I noticed when I was rebuilding it, I think I might have done something wrong. So anyways, that's fine, no big deal. We can get this going anyway. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. I may have to go fix that though. Okay, is it working? Not working. Oh, I've got it in, oh no. I've got it in saved, don't I? Shoot! Ah! Oh no! I'm gonna have to rebuild this whole thing, aren't I? Oh no, I'm gonna have to rebuild this whole thing. Oh, that is not good. Oh man, that's not good. Let's stop that, because this is still in save mode. Ah, oh no. So I saved it. Well, that's frustrating. Okay, I got to do all that again. Here goes another hour worth of work. Basically what happened is I forgot to change this to load, so it loaded in the original structure and then it just saved it again. So we saved over that structure that we just made. Fantastic. Well, after a bowl of ice cream to drown away all my sorrows, the second time around went a little bit faster, of course. Now, this time I just copied and pasted. Well, I didn't copy and paste. I just moved everything over one block exactly, except for right here. I missed something apparently. Right somewhere. That must have been where I was missing a block, legitimately. Yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to show you guys what how I did this. I feel like these look kind of skinny compared to the original, so I'm gonna beef them up a little bit. And I'm going to fill in these little holes here because I feel like it needs it. That's why. So yeah, I'm trying to remember how I had these originally. Something like that. Right there. And I feel like that gives it that better shape that it had before, where it gets kind of fat in the middle. Now when I do that, it does kind of feel like it's comes down and then over, rather than, yeah, I don't know. I think it looks better personally. So you may have to go back and tweak a few things here and there like that, just to, and I'll do the same thing on all these here in just a second. Just kind of wanted to show you guys. I just think they look a little spindly, so I feel like I ought to fill them out a little bit. So once it gets moving, hopefully it'll look pretty good. Okay, lesson learned, kids. Make sure you always have this in the load state before you save over the file you previously made and have to start all over, which is a pain in the rear. But let's see what this thing looks like now that it's going. We may have to slow it down. I'm not sure. We're only a part of the way there. Dear Lord, why is it not moving again? Oh, man. Please. Well, let's check on what's going on. Okay, third time's a charm or something like that, right? Please work. Let's see. Is it? Oh, it's moving. Yes, it is. It's beautiful. Yeah. We like that. Okay, cool. So that's step one after an undisclosed amount of time. And yeah, we'll go shut it off and then add a couple more steps to it and see what we come up with. Well, we're back. Had to go do some chores on the other side there. And I'm coming back to the windmill to see something over here. And it ain't no big deal. It's just a moving windmill in the distance there. What are we talking about? Coming in from a distance like this, look how cool that is. That is awesome. Oh yeah. Man, that is exciting. What do you guys think? We've got a slowly turning windmill here. We'll kind of review what we did. But I did, so a couple things I'll address here that I learned is that I really, I made a big deal about distinguishing these and making sure they were different, because otherwise you wouldn't tell that it was moving in a circle. Well, because I have several paths here, I have a save file that's straight up and down, then I have one that I'm calling a 30, a 45, and a 60, and then back to the way it was originally. I didn't keep going. Basically, your first save is here, second one's here, third here, fourth, and then it goes back to the first one right here. And if you pay attention, you can probably tell because the blades change. It doesn't follow around the whole way. But you can't really tell if you don't pay attention. So it was way too much work. It took forever just to do this. I bet, I had to rebuild this every single time. And as you know, that first time took 3 tries. But after all that, many hours went into that, more than I expected. I thought, there's no way I'm going to make this one blade go all the way around. And there's really no need in it. So it worked out this way, and I don't think that you needed them to be any different because I put enough movement in there. If it was only this one here and then this one here, and it would look like it just flip-flopped back and forth. But because we added a couple more frames in there, I think it would work out just fine. So let's head on over here, and this is the other cool thing that I like about it. Remember how I wanted it to come down low and feel like it was about to hit you? And oh man, it really does. Like, that's so cool. Let's just stand here and it's like, can you imagine if that was real life? You'd be, that'd kind of freak you out, wouldn't it? It's pretty cool. So yeah, so then what did I do? I went ahead and finished the rest of it. Let me show you, actually, you know what? We'll show you how we did it here in a minute. You kind of have a basic idea already, but if we come in here, we can see that we've got the spinning mill already. So I went ahead and did that. That was a lot easier. I just had to rotate it around. And this one, I'm not going to lie, it takes some imagination. If you look up, follow that dark log, and you'll see it's spinning. Which way is it going? This way here. And then it goes here, and over here, and over here. And yeah, it takes a little bit more imagination. That didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to. But that's just kind of, I don't really know how to make it be better. I could have made this frame here, could have been a log here and then a log in the corner. I hope that makes sense. Since it's moving, it's hard to probably keep up, but you can kind of see how they're interconnected here, and hopefully that looks like it's actually rotating the way that I want it to. But yeah, I think it's a neat idea at least. So if you guys have ideas of how to make it better, I'm open to that, of course, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. I think it's pretty sharp. And so let me show you what we did. I'd already shown you a few of the steps here. Basically, this is one. I'd named this Windmill Blade 0. Then we went to the 30 degree, which may not exactly be 30, but you know, that's the idea. Over to the 45 degree and then back to the 60. And then we just loop back around. And you can see I used 3 different repeaters, all fully delayed between each one. And that gave me the range of motion that I had up there. That was the speed that I wanted. And then over here, this is the gears. So basically, it's just one column that leads all the way up from the bottom gear all the way to the very top gear. And we start with 0, and then we went to a 45, and then to a 90, and then to a 135. Basically, we went all the way around, and I had to do this. May be a little difficult to explain, but how I showed you this one, I only needed this save, the 30, this 45 here, the 60. That's all you needed, and then it repeats itself, right? But up here with the gears, it's a little bit different. And the reason I made the dark log on one side and the oak on the other is because I think it would have been a challenge, because you are skipping like I originally thought we'd have to do outside. You're only going between the straight shot, I guess you would call it, and then this 45 angle frame. And so it would just look like it's bouncing back and forth. So this way, at least you can follow one color or the other around, and it makes a little more sense, hopefully. So again, I think in here it didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would. But out here, I think it's just amazing. I'm super, super excited about that. I hope you guys enjoyed that, got some inspiration from it. Check the downloads, I said that last time, I think. Check the link in the description. I will give you the link to all these files. I cannot include the animation though, because it's a little bit out of range, and you got to do something yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of follow this along and see what I did. If you need any help, maybe I can go into more depth later, but I think this is all the information you need to really do it. If I can do this, anyone can do it. It's really not bad, and it's very, very enjoyable and cool once you get it done. If you don't make all the mistakes like I did. Also, if you guys have mobile and you have not been able to download the links that I have in all my descriptions for all the different builds, that one or this one or any of the other ones in my world, that is going to change soon. There is an app coming out. I've been talking to the owner, the developer of that app, and he is already starting to download or upload rather all of my builds into that app to kind of help it get started once they re-release it. It was another app back in the day, and he bought it out. He's fixing it up, making it really cool. I've seen some stuff, and I'm super excited to be a part of that. When that comes out, I will let you guys know more details so that you can upload your own stuff to it pretty easily, and then you can go in there and find my stuff to download and put in your world wherever you want it, and maybe make it a little bit cooler. So I think that's pretty exciting, and I can't wait to share more with you on that as I find out. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter, because that's where I will be posting a lot of that stuff. Of course, I'll mention it in a video when I can, but you're definitely going to know about it sooner on Twitter. That's where I share a lot of live stuff. So anyways, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration out of this. I would love to see some animations you guys have. I'd love to get some ideas from you for other things that we can animate in the world. I want to put as much of this stuff in it as I can. It's pretty time consuming for me, but I think it's really worth it. It's just so cool. I can't stop looking at it. But yeah, I've got a couple ideas, but I would love to hear more from you guys about different things we could put in the world that we could make move and would actually make sense in the world, okay? So if we can figure out a way to do it, we're going to do it. In fact, I'm actually working on another one already, but I think we've reached our time limit on this video. So stay tuned if you want to see more. We've got more coming this way for sure. Guys, until next time, as always, keep it creative.